Matt, can you tell us, and if you're comfortable with it, can you give us a ballpark of how much you're making per month with the appointment setting?
On months or seasons when it's at its highest, so I'd say last summer, it's around more towards the 4 or 5K a month mark.
I think the question that we're all wondering here is, how old are you, Matt?
I am 20 years old.
20 years old. What's up, Savvy Expats? We are with the man, Matt. Brother, it's a pleasure to have you on.
Yes, sir.
So, Matt, I've wanted you on the podcast for a while now because you're doing something that I don't see a lot of 30, 40, even 50-year-olds doing, which is creating income streams while living abroad in the Philippines.
Yeah.
But before we get into that and how you're able to sustain your lifestyle as a young guy here in the Philippines, can you give us a little bit of a background on yourself?
Yeah, so my name's Matt. I am 20 years old and I just moved to the Philippines from the UK in June, earlier last year. So been here for about like 6-7 months now, and I've adjusted pretty well to it. And I'm full Filipino too, so it's good to be back.
We have a similar situation where we're both Filipino, but we were raised abroad, spent all our time abroad. Yeah, and so speaking of, I mean, you're back here in the Philippines. What's it like?
Yeah, it's great. Like last time I came back was 2017, so it's been quite a while now. But the main reason why I left the UK was, and like this is kind of a running theme in your channel, is just because, you know, there's not much opportunity there, especially as a young guy. You just want to be like free, right? So left the UK and then just found a way to start earning remotely and then just really living my life here. And you know, we got some big plans coming up. So.
Right. So, I mean, what opportunities do you see here in the Philippines?
Yeah, quite a lot. I mean, for one, I noticed that, and it could just be something in the air, it might not be. I don't know, you just feel way more free. You can do more things as opposed to the UK. You know, there's a law for almost everything in the UK and the US. You park wrong, you get a ticket. You do this wrong, you get a ticket. You get fined, this and that.
Right.
But I feel like in the Philippines, you know, people just sort of mind their business and kind of go about your own way.
And another thing is, like in the West, we have so much political divisiveness. We have inflation that's rising, high crime rates. I mean, I know in the UK, you walk around with this watch, Matt, and like, you know, you don't know what's gonna happen, right?
No.
You know, even safety here is a whole 180.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's good parts and bad parts everywhere, even here in Philippines. Like, there's crime, but for the most part, you know, I think it's just about being kind of street smart, being mindful, being aware, no matter if you're Philippines, if you're in the UK. But I think what it is the freedom, man. Just, especially as a young guy, trying to build myself up, like me and you. So.
100%. Like, this is why I wanted Matt on the podcast, guys, because he's doing some big things out here in the Philippines, making money online, and that was our initial, I guess, connector. Is that we both are finding ways to monetize online for a living, and that's what a lot of expats are looking to do when they come here, because you know, you leave the US, you're leaving your main piece of work out there.
Exactly.
You come here, and even if you're from the UK, you're coming here with a pension, right? With that said, can you tell us a little bit about what you do for work? But before Matt answers that, quick announcement: if you're planning on moving to the Philippines but you don't have access to the right information nor reliable contacts, I created a free 15-step checklist in the link in the description down below for you. This checklist covers the clear-cut action steps that you need to take for a successful move to the Philippines as an expat. So feel free to check it down in the description down below and enjoy.
Yeah, so I do something called appointment setting. So essentially, if I could explain that so that a 4-year-old can understand it, because there's a lot of ambiguity around it, but basically what it is you work for a business owner and most of the time they're going to be selling something online, like a course, like a coaching program, and they need people to be on the phone with them so they can sell that that program. So that's basically where the appointment setter comes in, and they do that job for you and it's for a couple of reasons. You're probably thinking, okay, why can't the business owner just do it themselves? Well, they have to spend their time and their focus on more important tasks that's going to move the needle. So for example, making content, serving their clients. So that's where the setter comes in. You know, a lot of it is admin work, it's monotonous, but you know, there's a lot of benefits to it. So they just come in, they reply to their messages and their emails, whatever it may be, and they just book him in on the calendar, get it on the phone to the closer or the business owner, and then that's where they sell them. And for every closed deal, typically, everyone gets a commission, including the setter. So
right. How long have you been doing this for?
I'd say 2.5 years. Doing fully appointment setting, so I'll kind of break down what that means in a minute. But I've tried out different businesses, like they tried and failed, you know, the whole story. But I'd say 2.5 years, that's when from start to finish, I learned about the skill. I started implementing it for my own businesses. Some have failed, some have succeeded. And then up until recently, doing it fully, which means pretty much like dropping my own businesses and working for someone else to do it. I'd say about this time last year, actually, or just over a year.
So, I think the question that we're all wondering here is, how old are you, Matt?
I am 20 years old.
20 years old. You're out
21
here.
in April.
Amazing, and you're killing it, man. So,
Appreciate it.
you're 20 years old. What age did you move to the UK?
So I was born here in Philippines, and then I went to school here. I grew up here until I was 7, and then I went to UK when I was 7 because
Okay.
my parents, they wanted to go to the UK, more opportunity there at the time, so they brought me with them. So and then
Right.
that's where I spent most of my time there.
And then you came back to the Philippines at what age?
Just recently, last year.
Last year. So you're about 19.
I've been back. No, 20.
20. And you're here by yourself?
Yeah, solo.
Okay, amazing.
I've got Lolo and Lola
Yeah.
here, but apart from that, coming here
Right.
solo.
And where are you currently living here?
In Quezon City, in Eastwood.
In Eastwood.
But we have plans coming
Right.
up. So.
Big plans coming
Could
up, but
change soon,
yeah, amazing. So you're in Eastwood right now, and like I mentioned earlier, the reason that I felt like it was so important to have you on is because we don't talk enough about how to make money while living in the Philippines, and that's such a crucial part. Because even if you're coming here with Social Security or a pension, which the majority of our demographic is, that's $2,000 for most people, $3,000 per month if you're on the good end,
Yep.
and for many in your retirement years and the golden years, like that's not a lot of money, to settle down on.
No.
So other people are looking at like different income streams to move here on, and I think that's why it's amazing you covered appointment setting. What other businesses were you working on before that?
Yeah, so I dabbled into coaching and mentorship myself for a couple months to a year. Like before I did appointment setting, that's what I was doing. I was coaching other business owners in organic marketing, and that's the beauty about today's day and age is if you have an expertise, if you're good at something or have a talent, you could turn that into a fully fledged business, which is what I love about today's day and age. But that's what I was doing before, and it didn't really work out. Like I learned a lot during that phase, so that's why I said up until recently, about this time last year, was when I got fully into appointment setting. But I'm kind of growing out of that now and starting my own thing again, getting back into the game like we talked about off camera.
Yeah, and there's so many different avenues to make money. Like for you, right now is appointment setting. Back then it was coaching. But what would you say to like the older expat that's thinking like there's no other way to make money other than just like go to college and get your degree and work a job physically or in an office?
The times change, and one of the most important things I feel to have success is be adaptable. Right, so maybe 40, 50 years ago, and again, I'm only young, right? So you can take that with a grain. You can take what I say with a grain of salt. But things change. Things have changed from 40 years ago to now, and then it's going to keep changing. And like when I get older and I don't adapt, then it's going to be a lot harder for me and you. So I think what it is, just adapt. The only thing that's limiting you is you and your mind, as corny as it sounds, but it really is true. Like, there's 40, 50, 6-year-olds getting into online business and they're making a killing that I know of. So
100%. And we have a whole circle of guys. We have an entrepreneur meetup here in BTC, and like all these guys, they really show you that you can make money and there's no constraint to making money while living abroad in the Philippines.
Yeah,
they're all from Canada, the US, Europe, like yourself, some in Australia, and they're coming here and they're making money online through businesses and remote work. And obviously appointment setting is completely remote, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, completely remote. So, it's very possible to do, and we're going to dig more into that later in this interview. But before we do, Matt, can you tell us, and if you're comfortable with it, can you give us a ballpark of how much you're making per month with appointment setting?
It fluctuates here and there. Like last year, towards the tail end, it was a bit slower. So it was coming in about 1 to 2K a month. And then on months or seasons when it's at its highest, so I'd say last summer, it was at its highest. It's around more towards the 4 or 5K a month mark.
Amazing.
So, yeah, but I think right now, moving forward to 2024, what I'm trying to work on is kind of make it more stable, more consistent, keep it at a similar level. Because last year, it's not sustainable, right? Ups and downs. But I'd say that's the ballpark.
So you're ramping it up, and 4 to 5K a month as a 20-year-old, like fresh out of college, is it?
Yeah, college, university.
Yeah, out of university. Dang, I mean, like that's really impressive because that's completely remote, right? It's completely remote, and you work on your own time.
Yep.
So to be able to do that, I think is a dream for a lot of expats coming here and looking for other income streams. So you're making around 4 to 5K a month. I mean, can you take us back to where it all started?
Pretty much. Went to university, just followed the traditional path, and there's nothing wrong with it. Like a year ago, I would have bashed university completely, given it no chance. But I think if it's for you, it's for you, right? But long story short, 2 years ago, in the summer, that's when I started university. I just did the traditional path. And I was there for about a year, dropped out after a year. Going into it, I kind of already knew, like, yeah, it's not gonna be here forever. So dropped out after 1 year. But the thing is, during that 1 year, the whole goal I was trying to have was to make something work out. And that's when I was running my coaching business at the time.
Right.
But I was trying, nothing really worked out. So, and then it was like that time next year, and I had no other choice, I had to move back in with parents, because it is the worst feeling, because I had to move back in with them, nothing wrong with that, but I had nothing to show for it. So I couldn't just turn to my mom or whoever and just say, hey, like, it worked out, I'll do my own thing. No, I had nothing. So I had to move back in with them. And for the next 9 months after that, it's a bit of a rough patch, just because like mentally, and I wasn't making anything still. And my health deteriorated a bit too. So during that 9 months when I was with them, I had to figure something out. And then that's when I first heard about like this whole digital nomad lifestyle. Before that, I never heard of it. Right? But during that time, stumbled upon a Twitter post, and as soon as I saw that Twitter post, and I'll forever be grateful for seeing that, because that's what spurred the motivation and got me to start like thinking outside the box. And that's when I moved to Thailand. After those 9 months, made the move out to Thailand, was there for 3 months, and then like here I am today. So that's kind of like a condensed.
So you started from basically, I guess, in a
Broke
rough patch in
student.
university, and then you basically just went out fully to Thailand, yeah?
Yeah, pretty much. Just rough patch in uni. Was there for about a year. Wasn't for me. And then had to think creatively, and then just kind of around that 9 month period, that's when I went all in on appointment setting and learning a high income skill and working remotely. So yeah.
And so you've been doing appointment setting for about 2 years. I mean, how long would you say you're doing it, like, really seriously?
I'd say just over a year now.
Just over a year.
Just over a year now. So.
And for somebody who would be curious into getting into either high ticket sales or appointment setting, I know it varies from individual to individual, but like realistically, with at least the students that you've seen or have worked with, how much do they usually make within the first 6 months to a year?
Yeah, it's different for everyone. Like, obviously there's a learning curve. Maybe in those first couple months it's going to be slow, around that 1K month mark.
1K.
Maybe you're on an offer that's not great, and then you leave that one, you go on another offer, you learn more and more, and then it starts to snowball and pick up. So I'd say it's coming from a total beginner. If you're making at least 1.5, 2K USD per month, that's a solid start for sure. But I know setters who they're making like 15, 20K a month.
15, 20K. Yeah.
Those are like rare instances. That's when all the stars align. Good offer, they're good at what they do, good mindset, everything.
Right, all the boxes are checked on that one.
Yeah. But I'd say like in between that, what you should be aiming to make is around that, like 3 to 8K a month.
Right.
Is the ballpark.
I see, and I think that's where like the crucial step comes in with moving to the Philippines, because obviously your expenses were a lot higher in the UK. At least if you weren't like with your family, it would be very high, yeah?
Yeah, so I always wanted to move out for sure after that like 9 month rough patch. But yeah, I was living with them the whole time. One of the blessings is, when you live with your parents, most of your bills are paid. So when I was in the UK and I started to see success in it, I had almost no expenses. So, but if I had lived on my own there, then the expenses would have been a lot higher, much higher than here for sure.
Well, how much is your expenses living in the Philippines versus the UK?
Again, as I said, it's hard to say compared to the UK, just because like I was living at home with parents. But if I was there, it probably would be, I don't know, twice as much. I'd say here it's around, say like 1 to 3K, 1 to 2K per month. Depends how crazy I go sometimes. I'm trying to work on it, but yeah, I'd say 1 to 2, 2.5.
Yeah, we'll also do some comparisons with Thailand, because you spent about 3 months over there in Thailand, and I've seen the photos on your Instagram, bro. It looked like a great time out there.
Yeah. Could be worse.
It could, yeah. But so you're living here in the Philippines. You're in Eastwood, right?
Yeah.
Eastwood's probably I'd say it's one of the nicer cities, definitely in the Philippines, especially in Manila.
Yeah.
How much is your rent in Eastwood?
That's a good question, because my aunt, she actually owns the condo unit.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. So I'm pretty much not paying rent on it.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty much taking full advantage of it, so shout out her.
Yeah.
Only thing I'm paying are like electricity bills and a few other stuff, but it's super low. I'm essentially staying there for almost free, basically. Lower expenses there.
So guys, like you gotta get it like Matt. Matt's got it set up here. So if you're from here in the Philippines, go to your contacts and find somebody.
Yes,
but
sir.
yeah, you got it set. So your main expenses would be like utilities.
Yeah, utilities, expenses. We're talking like not just houses, right? Usually just utilities only, and then just like living.
And like say you have a good fun night out. How much would that usually be around on average? Not too wild or anything.
Not
yeah.
too wild, obviously. Depends where you go. Like if you got BGC, you've got Makati, you've got these other places, right? Depends where you go. Obviously, if you're going to be in BGC like we are here, it's going to be a lot higher, right? But if you go to somewhere like Makati, it's maybe a bit easier on the wallet.
One of the guys I had on the podcast recently, he said the way he described nightlife in BGC is ratchet but classy.
Yeah, I've seen that. It's perfectly described.
Poblacion, just pure ratchet.
Yeah, perfectly described.
But like he said, when you go to Poblacion, you just like that's where you go to lose it all. I guess like go out of your mind and everything.
Don't think. Yeah.
Exactly. So, I mean, going back to your experience living in Thailand, I mean, how would you compare the two countries, living in the Philippines versus being in Thailand?
I'll say it's kind of hard to compare just because when I was in Thailand, if you guys know, if you heard of Koh Samui, you'd know it's more of the island scene. I'd say in the island, there's more of that freedom. Like I already feel free here, but there is more of that feeling. It's accentuated even more.
Right.
You wake up, go to the beach, you ride your motorcycle to this cafe, you know. It's here in the city, you know, things are a bit more, little bit more fast-paced. I'd say a little bit, just because, like you said in one of your videos, in the Philippines, it's a bit slower compared to other cities like Bangkok, right?
For sure. And how much were you like spending in those 3 months in Thailand?
I'd say for the villa that we rented, it was 3K per month, but I split it between 3 people. So that comes down to 1K each per month. Sick ass villa. Like you guys have to check it out. Check out Koh Samui as well. And in terms of like living expenses like food, transport, going out, I'd say you take that 1K for the rent, and then I don't know again, it depends on how wild you want to be or extravagant, but I'd say I was doing like around 2K
2K per month in Thailand.
maybe just over, more or less.
Right.
In expenses.
It seems in Thailand that you get a lot of bang for your buck.
Oh yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah, for sure.
How about like food expenses over there?
We found this. There's a lot of hidden gems in Thailand and like in Asia and Philippines. You know, the food's great. It's my favorite cuisine. But little story time. We were coming to about 2 weeks before we were about to leave, and we found this spot, and they were selling fried chicken and rice for 50 baht, which
50
is
baht.
$1 to $2. But yeah, we found it a bit too late. That's the only regret. But you can find spots like that. You can find literally get chicken and rice, get a full meal that will fill you up for $1 to $2, $3, and then you can, you know, it's up to you. If you want to go splash some more cash on finer restaurants, then there is that too as an option.
So transitioning more into like your experience coming back to the Philippines after being raised in the UK, I'm curious though, coming here as a young 20-year-old guy, I mean, how's your dating life here?
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't know.
He can't disclose, yeah.
It's been good. It's been good. As I said, a lot of flexibility, and I just do my thing.
So yeah, Matt. I don't think Matt wants to disclose because one of his girls might see this video. All right.
It's been great though. No, it's been great.
Yeah,
for sure. And that's another thing. I think you touched it on your YouTube videos about the differences in dating life. Like, I've noticed we're trying not to get cancelled, but I've noticed a difference at least between the Western girls versus the girls over there.
Right.
For sure.
What are some of those differences that you've seen between the two?
I'd say just a lot more easygoing and a lot more, how to say it, just sweet and more, you know.
Yeah.
More
feminine.
More feminine.
Yeah.
For sure. And I know like people say it all the time and there are exceptions, but that's just an observation I've made here. In the West, you know, it could be better.
Right. Yeah. You're on the money there.
Crazy.
And I think there's no shame in saying that because, like, it's a reality. That's why so many expats, they come here to the Philippines because, call it what you may, like passport bros or whatever, but they just find that there's not even dating, but even social life is so much better here because of the people as well.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah. But going back to, like, how you were able to, you know, do remote work here and sustain a lifestyle and income, would you give any advice or do you have any advice for expats that are coming here looking to sustain themselves on remote online income?
I'd say the first thing that comes to mind is just like obviously do your research, but from what I've seen over the past couple of years and what keeps a lot of people stuck, is they don't want to mess up. They're afraid of if they try something out, it's gonna fail and the world is gonna end, right? I'd say the first thing that comes to mind is just be okay with taking imperfect action, right? Everyone starts from zero. I started from scratch. I didn't know. I used to be terrible at at the skill and what I did, but I just kept going,
Right.
take imperfect action, and then you'll figure it out along the way. Because honestly, one of the only things that separates, maybe you from the people who are where you want to be is they have more time in the game and they've been more consistent and they've been willing to take imperfect action.
Right.
Right. And I used to be it too. I used to be like a very, very, very severe perfectionist, trying to make things perfect. But come to learn that the only thing that's going to make things perfect is by taking more action.
Exactly.
Right? And you're going to mess up along the way. Right? So whether it's with your content, with YouTube channel, with appointment setting, with sales, speaking to people, with whatever you're trying to do, it's just like riding a bike. It's no different. You're gonna fall. You're gonna graze your knee. You're gonna mess up a couple times, but you just have to get up and be willing to keep going. So.
Absolutely. Whether it be appointment setting or high ticket closing and making money online,
Yep.
just get into it right away, because
Yeah, exactly.
with your online coaching business, that wasn't the end all be all.
No, it
Appointment
wasn't.
setting isn't the end all be all.
No.
But it was those building blocks to
It's
get
what
you
got me in the door. It's the
exactly,
foundation.
exactly. So it's like taking those baby steps and just gradually increasing it. Amazing. So as far as your future plans, New Year 2024,
Yep.
what do you have going on?
Just nothing new really. Just keep working, keep training, keep meeting new people, cool people, and just making the most of my time here. Because I don't know if I'm gonna be here forever. Probably won't be here forever. But I'm young. Things could change. So wherever I go, wherever you go, the goal is to make the most of it, right? So
Right.
I'd say big plans is keep trying to grow the business, scale it, and the personal brand as well. So, for some of you watching this, I'm on YouTube, you probably know. So I'm really trying to grow and take that seriously.
So for some of the people to reach you, Matt, where can they find your socials?
Yeah, so you can find me on YouTube. It's just my name. It's Matt Jacob. You can find me on Instagram as well, Matt Jacob, but the A is a V. And obviously the links will be put, but mainly YouTube and Instagram. Instagram is going to be the place where if you want to shoot me a message, you have a question, just shoot over. I'll reply. So
yeah. And do you have any resources for people to find more about appointment setting?
Yeah. So got a couple of resources. I got this free framework. So essentially, what the framework goes over is let's say you land a setting position in a company, and you're wondering, okay, what do I actually say to these potential customers now and get them on the phone? Well, that's what the framework is for. So that's completely free. It's called the Appointment Setting Manifesto. It's just almost like a script, really. I hate using the word script, but there you go. That's for free. And then I've also got this guide called the Art of Appointment Setting. Basically, I've put in everything that I've learned up until this point over these past 2.5 years about appointment setting, about landing a position, about how to actually get people on calls and just get really good at what you do. So that's also there. And I've also recently opened some one-on-one mentorship. So for those who want to learn directly from me and be held accountable and get placed in a position instead of having to try to go find it themselves, just get the students, whoever comes in, get them placed. Then that's also launched recently as well.
Amazing.
So, got a
fantastic. Fantastic. So we'll leave all the links in the description down below. It was a great interview. Amazing knowledge coming from Matt, and I appreciate having you on, man.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me on.